Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. It is December 27th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. And we are winding down 2023.
We sure are.
Do you have New Year's plans yet?
Not really.
Okay.
Just going to kind of hang out for a little bit, I think, on Sunday.
We're trying to formulate plans right now, but
That's
everywhere
good.
we want to go to dinner, they have like a fixed price menu.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're egregiously priced.
Are the reservations pretty packed already?
We
is it
set a
hard?
couple reservations.
Okay. Oh, wow.
But like the only the ones that don't
Proactive.
charge. But here's the thing. With the new year comes New Year's resolutions. Do you do New Year's resolutions?
I do. My New Year's resolution for 2024 is just to hang out more with friends and family and take
nice.
time to go do fun things. You know, get out a little bit more. What about you?
That's really good. Well, before we talk about me, did you fulfill your 2023 resolutions?
I did.
What
Yeah,
were they?
I really just wanted to have like a fun action-packed year. And I guess
Okay.
that kind of carries over into 2024 too.
That's fair.
So yeah, just trying to do as many things as possible.
Okay.
What about you, Max?
So for 2024, I want to learn how to sit in one spot for an elongated amount of time.
Not just bounce
I'm not
around.
good at sitting still. The girlfriend and I have watched a large amount of movies recently, so I'm starting to work towards that.
Okay.
But I know a lot of you out there, you have your own resolutions, and we have a new survey from Google.
Of course we do.
That, as you can probably guess, the number one spot, the most searched New Year's resolution, weight loss. People always trying to go into the new year, trying to lose some weight. And then under that kind of weight loss umbrella, eat healthier, exercise, getting more fit. Here's my favorite though, get rich.
Get rich.
Yeah, although you look at some of these videos, I mean, they're wearing suits, drinking champagne. They look like they're rich, so
They
they're
certainly
doing all right.
do. I'm sure they're having a great time.
But yeah, under the quote-unquote get rich umbrella, there is the spend less and save more money. Love that.
That's great.
And then find love. I
Finding
like that
someone
one.
special.
That's nice.
There you go. Improving mental health's one there
Obviously
too.
very important.
And so the most Googled New Year's resolution in Texas
Okay.
falls under the exercise umbrella.
Fair. Well,
Exercise and get fit.
We have great food.
We do.
Especially in
one
South
of my
Texas.
favorite things about living here. Like, seriously.
Here's one that I think this was my 2023 one, and I think we've fulfilled this as a family. Travel more. We were able
That's
to
a
travel a
great
good amount.
one.
I feel like I'm very stuck in Texas a lot of the time.
Do you have a favorite place that you have traveled?
Ooh,
I know
that's
that's a bold question.
Well, first and foremost, I love San Antonio. Love the people.
Always.
Thank you for making San Antonio so special. I would say of the places we traveled that I have loved the most and have some of the most fond memories, probably Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, whoa.
I know. And that was this past year. It was
What time of year?
great
Did you
vibes.
go in the summer when it was
we went
very
in the
hot?
summer. It was hot.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
That's great.
Yeah, I like the heat, hence South Texas.
Well, then there you go. In Arizona, having a great time.
If you have any unique resolutions out there, feel free to reach out to Mia or myself on social media. Mia Montgomery, you've done a phenomenal job doing the research. This is all from Mia. She did all this.
I just wanted to make sure that, we had what we needed for this. So there you go.
Local scientist out here. So, scientists, what is the weather looking like?
Weather is looking fantastic and pretty quiet to wrap up 2023. Speaking of the final days here of the year, taking a look outside with live cam. Gorgeous sunshine, blue skies, temperatures in the mid-40s here in San Antonio. All the sunshine that you're seeing right now, that is going to be the theme throughout the remainder of this Wednesday. And really, we're going to see plenty of it over the next several days. That quiet weather pattern will continue all the way into the start of the new year. You can see still pretty cold, though, just off to our northwest. Comfort right now still registering around that 32-degree mark. We did have a couple areas up in the hill country that dipped down to or below freezing early this morning. We'll take a look at those morning lows a little bit later on in the newscast. 46 here in town, 47 on the south side at Stinson, 47 as well in Pleasanton, 43 up to our northeast in Canyon Lake. There's all of that sunshine that continues into this afternoon. So yes, it was a cold start, but it is going to be a very pleasant day. 63 degrees at 1 p.m., a forecast high right around 66. All right, your weather headlines for the rest of the week. Quiet weather pattern, plenty plenty of sunshine. Unfortunately, no notable rain chances to talk about all the way into the upcoming weekend. Temperatures going to be pretty similar to what we've seen today. Cold mornings, daily 30s expected. Comfy afternoons, though, with low humidity, highs in the 60s. As we head into New Year's Eve, really by about midnight, as you're stepping out for any New Year's Eve celebration plans, our next cold front is slated to arrive, so we'll get you a sneak peek at what that means for our New Year's Eve and New Year's Day forecast coming up a little bit later on, Max.
All right, me in Montgomery, thank you so much. Here is David Sears with today's 9 at 9.
New developments on the war in Israel. A senior advisor to Israel's prime minister addressed ongoing discussions with the U.S. And top Biden officials met with a confidant of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and part of Israel's war cabinet. They discussed the need for Israel to focus on high-value Hamas targets and other issues, and Netanyahu vowed a long fight ahead. The crisis continues in the Middle East. President Biden says the U.S. military carried out retaliatory airstrikes against Iranian-backed militia groups. This comes after 3 U.S. service members were hurt in a drone attack in northern Iraq. A raise in wages coming to many Americans. On New Year's Day, 22 states will raise their minimum wage. This will give nearly 9.9 million Americans an increase. In all, workers will receive $6.95 billion in additional wages. Despite higher prices and some worries about finances, shoppers across the country boosted holiday spending this year by more than 3%. According to MasterCard Spending Pulse, online shopping led the way. It was up more than 6.5%. Stock markets are on the upswing as the year winds down. The Dow and S&P each closed a little over 0.4% higher in Tuesday trading. The Nasdaq added just over 0.5%. The numbers are rising for young onset dementia. That is cognitive decline someone experiences years before signs of dementia sets in. For some, that can be as early as the age of 30. A new study found some of the more surprising risk factors are social isolation, hearing loss, and low vitamin D. South Korean actor Lee Sung-yoon, known for his role in the Academy Award-winning film Parasite, has died at the age of 48. The actor was being investigated for illegal drug use. He was found dead in his car early this morning, and the cause of death is presumed to be suicide. A man and woman have been arrested as part of the drug investigation. A new image from the Hubble Space Telescope. It captured mysterious ghostly shadows on Saturn's rings. NASA says this is a composite photo taken as Saturn was about 850 million miles away. Apple seeking permission to start selling the latest version of its watches again. After the Biden administration declined to intervene in a patent dispute, it had to pull its Apple Watch Series 9, the Ultra 2, following a ruling that Apple infringed on a patent of a medical monitoring technology company. And that's today's 9 at 9.
To our top story this morning, Savannah Soto, the missing pregnant woman who is the subject of a clear alert. She's believed to have been found dead inside a car parked near an apartment complex on the northwest side. So this is where police found the bodies of 2 people on Danny K Drive near Babcock Road. They're believed to be 18-year-old Savannah Soto, who is missing since Friday, and also her boyfriend, who the family says is Matthew Guerra.
We were supposed to celebrate Christmas with her and the baby. All she wanted was that baby. I think she was meant to be a mom.
Wow. She says when Soto missed her appointment to be induced on Saturday, her family knew something was wrong. A tip through Facebook actually led police to where the vehicle was found. We're going to have a full breakdown of this story coming up at 9:30. And of course, this is a story we have been following extensively on KSAT.com. So if you want to read more about the background information, hear from the family, just look for the story on the homepage and keep it right here for our continued coverage throughout the day. In what's supposed to be a season of giving, well, some have been caught stealing on camera, and the Bexar County Sheriff's Department, they expect thefts and break-ins only to rise through the new year. That is why BCSO is pushing their Patrol By program. So you can call the non-emergency number and you can request a deputy to check in on your home while you're not there. Sheriff Javier Salazar says there's no way to actually measure the number of break-ins and burglaries that would be prevented by this program, but he's optimistic that it can make a big difference.
We're going to be patrolling your neighborhoods anyway. We may as well take an extra look at your house if you know that you're going to be out of town.
So Sheriff Salazar says operators will ask you to describe the home, take any notes for what is expected to be delivered, and take notes on what cars should and should not be in the driveway. Now, the latest of the crisis at the border, Secretary of State Antony Blinken on his way to a meeting with Mexico's president today. They're set to discuss the unprecedented surge of migrants. We're seeing more than 10,000 people cross the border a day. And we've heard from two local congressmen on either side of the political aisle. They've told us the surge is having a real economic impact on not only the country, not only the state, but here specifically in San Antonio. And as ABC's Jay O'Brien reports, this meeting amongst our nation's leaders, well, it comes as another sprawling caravan is headed to the border.
This morning, Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas traveling to Mexico City for a high-stakes meeting with the Mexican president to address the ongoing immigration crisis at the southern border. Administration officials expected to push the Mexican government to step up immigration enforcement within their own borders. The urgent meeting comes as migrant border crossings hit historic highs. Border Patrol reporting on average nearly 10,000 apprehensions a day last week. And these images, an apparent caravan of an estimated 6,000 migrants now making their way to the U.S. border. Norve Diaz from Colombia is traveling with his children, saying he's fighting for the well-being of his family. White House officials blaming volatility in Central and South American countries.
There's a lot of factors, and part of that is, of course, dealing with instability.
But Republicans blasting the president.
The policies of the Biden administration are attracting people from all over the world. We have to change those policies to secure our border.
Back in the U.S., Border Patrol in places like Eagle Pass, Texas, overwhelmed. And this weekend, buses carrying migrants, nearly 130 in total, stopping in suburbs outside Chicago. The latest in a series of migrants transported to northern cities by Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
All of this comes as the White House is still locked in tense negotiations with Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill over immigration reform that's now been directly tied to any future aid for Israel and Ukraine. And with Congress still out on recess, sources tell us there are no active negotiations right now and no in-person meetings expected until at least the new year. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, the White House.
Time now, 9:10, 47 degrees. We have a lot to come here on GMSA at 9 a.m. After the break, a look at some of the top trending stories on KSAT.com. We'll be right back. Good morning and welcome back. New this morning on KSAT.com, the online retailer Zulily closing down. So this news surprising a lot of customers, and here's the even sadder part. It is laying off hundreds of employees. And this comes despite attempts at even trying to save the business. Next up, as you get ready for lunch today, already hungry, a new effort here in San Antonio aiming to broaden the options at restaurants to include more items that are healthy and environmentally friendly. That is the mindset of the people behind the Plant-Based for the Planet initiative. While their movement is based on the tenets of veganism, it's not targeted at converting people to their diets. Rather, the program encourages restaurants to explore creative food options that happen to be based on plants. We have things like loaded queso fries to faux, aka fake, chicken fried rice. Now we have an in-depth look. Right now, just head to our homepage, ksat.com. So many hopeful dogs at this time of the year. They're looking out the window, looking to find a new best friend to take them home to their forever home. All too often, though, well, certain dogs are overlooked. But one couple is now working to change that. Here's ABC's Danny New.
You want some belly rubs?
At shelters, dogs in their golden years may not always be the first to get adopted.
They have extra medical needs and maybe a little more attention.
He's running!
But what if those medical costs that usually accumulate with age were already covered?
All they have to do is love the dog, and you take care of the rest.
Hi! Hi!
Kelly and Andy run a San Diego-based shelter called Frosted Faces Foundation.
Because senior dogs get like little white hairs.
Yep.
And basically, when you adopt one of the senior dogs at their facility, its medical costs, no matter how large, are covered for life.
These dogs do end up passing away, and then someone's like, sure, I'll get my next dog from you, because then I get a dog and I get free medical care.
Go find it! He's looking all around.
Frosted Faces was born back in 2014. Kelly was working at a different shelter and was just very disappointed with how many senior dogs would either be put up for adoption or would never get adopted because of the expense.
Our shelter system nationwide, there's a crisis going on. Sit. Oh, that's very good, girl.
But now, county shelters all over Southern California turn to Kelly and Andy to take those dogs that need a little more love. And 9 years later, Frosted Faces is helping between 500 and 700 a year get adopted.
Super rewarding.
However, that's not going to be enough for Kelly and Andy.
What are your goals for the future?
Our goal is to help more cats. That's a good direction to go in.
And more nonprofits like these are popping up all over the country. But what makes Frosted Faces unique is that they even added their own veterinary staff on site 2 years ago. So now all adopted dogs can just come on back whenever they need something. In New York for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
That is adorable.
So adorable.
Do you have a dog?
I do.
Okay.
I have a golden doodle, and she is my favorite thing ever.
What is her name?
Her name is Coco.
Aww.
And she has just been so pumped. Got her little Christmas presents and everything. She's a good dog. Do you have a dog?
I do not. We live in a fairly small apartment.
That makes
and it
sense.
would be unfair. I'd feel bad.
That's fair, yeah.
But one day I will have a Coco of my own.
I'm sure you will, Max.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for that. Walking the dog today or doing whatever outside, it is going to feel fantastic. A little chilly maybe later on this evening, but this afternoon is going to be pretty nice. Now, this morning, of course, was cold. We started off around 38 degrees here officially in San Antonio, and that trend of colder mornings is going to continue over the next several days. So I do think we actually could fall a degree more by wake-up time Thursday, maybe even more so Friday and into Saturday. Then those overnight lows, while still chilly, come up a touch into the low 40s Sunday and into Monday, but that's when we're expecting our next cool front to move into south central Texas, and that's going to send another batch of cooler and drier air in to kick off 2024. All right, a look outside right now, plenty of sunshine for as far as the eyes can see. 46 degrees here in the Alamo City, a dew point in the upper 30s, so there's that drier air that we've been talking about. Dry air allows us to cool down pretty efficiently through the overnight hours, but also warm up pretty efficiently into the afternoon. 47 just off to our south in Pleasanton. It's 45 in Carrizo Springs, 36 in Kerrville, 45 in Rock Springs, 45 as well off to our east in Gonzales for those current temperatures. Plenty of sunshine sticks with us throughout the remainder of this Wednesday. 62 degrees at noon, very pleasant if you're stepping out for any lunchtime plans, maybe lunch on the patio. 66 at 3 p.m., that forecast high temperature. And then if you're stepping out later this evening, like what we've seen the past couple of evenings, you will want to take the jacket with you because with clear skies in place, once again, thermometers will be able to fall pretty quickly. 61 at 6 p.m., already in the 50s though by 7, and that will continue later on tonight. So in terms of those forecast highs, slightly above average today, but still pretty nice out there, all things considered, especially with that low humidity in the works. Upper 60s along and just south of the Highway 90 corridor, even approaching 70 degrees in spots for places like Divine, Poteet, Pleasanton, even over to Floresville. Low to mid 60s expected the farther north that you go up into the hill country. 64 in Comfort, 62 in Kerrville, 66 over in Canyon Lake. We've been talking about that drier air, that lower humidity in the works. You can see it's not going anywhere over the next couple of days. We actually had a weak front to move in this morning that's allowed those winds to shift in from the north. Unfortunately, mountain cedar is likely going to stay pretty high because of that, but you can see that reinforcing push also brought in some more drier air that will continue all the way into the first half of the upcoming weekend. Then we start to see a little bit of moisture briefly return on Sunday, and then after that there's that next cool front that moves in right around New Year's Eve, and that's going to allow for another push of some low humidity to move back into the region. So cold mornings will be the theme over the next several days. Plenty of sunshine though into the afternoons. Really that quiet weather pattern taking shape as we wrap up the year. 62 62 tomorrow, 61 on Friday, and then a little bit warmer on Saturday ahead of that next front. Here's what's happening in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So we've got an area of low pressure centered over the Midwest. That's going to continue to move eastward over the next couple of days. And then the second area of low pressure moves down to the Great Lakes region early next week. That essentially is what's going to allow for that next front to move in. Right before it can get here, when we see that brief return of moisture on Sunday, well, I do think we will stay dry here in the Alamo City. Can't completely rule out a very stray shower across our far eastern counties. Then we're dry into Monday. We'll introduce a 20% chance for an isolated shower into Tuesday. We definitely could use any sort of rain that we can get. You can see we are well below average for the month of December and the year. For 2023 right now, we're about 12 inches below where we should be. So wish we could find a little bit more rain before we flip the calendar over. But hey, if we're not going to see rain, at least we have very comfortable temperatures and that dry air, which is definitely going to make a difference.
Okay, car wash. Am I good to get one?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Mia Montgomery, thank you so much.
You bet.
Time now, 9:21, 47 degrees. We'll be right back. Good morning and welcome back. We want to tell you an inspiring story about a woman who went from a turbulent childhood in a poor neighborhood to now saving others' lives. Jessie Degollado tells us this physician, affectionately known as Dr. B, she had the odds stacked against her, much like most of her small patients.
Hi, Mamita. Hi, Miss Emily. Hi.
Tiny, tiny babies are Dr. B's specialty. Isabel Basaldu Prado, best known as Dr. B, wouldn't be giving preemies a fighting chance now if she'd listened to people like her grandmother.
Girls like you need to get married and have children, and you need to find a husband who's going to support you.
Mirasol Homes is nothing like it was when Basaldu Prado grew up here, and she is no longer the child that had to endure so much hardship.
My mother suffered with schizophrenia, and my father, unfortunately, was an alcoholic.
Basaldu Prado's father was later murdered, yet she never forgot what he once told her.
You are not going to be like me. You're going to go to college and you're going to get an education.
The Edgewood High School graduate who went on to medical school here and in Galveston found her way out of the poverty and crime she'd seen too much of growing up.
And I realized very early on that that's not the life that I wanted for myself or my children.
So much so, the mother of 5 almost didn't have kids.
I didn't want to put them through possibly what I had to go through.
Sadly, Basaldu Prado says mental illness led to her son's suicide. It's why she now counsels other families. But she says each new life entrusted to her care is her inspiration.
I see the struggle they went through, and it reminds me of the struggle I went through, and it brings me so much joy.
Along with helping new mothers like Emily's.
She should sleep on her back and not on her side or on her tummy.
Having learned what Dr. B went through will be a lesson that Crystal Zapata will someday share with Emily.
Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it just because it was hard growing up. Definitely reach for the stars.
Jessie Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Inspiring story. You can check it out on KSAT.com. Time now, 9:27. It is 48 degrees. We got a lot more to come ahead here on GMSA at 9 a.m. We are taking a live look out at the roadways. We know people are still traveling, some people back to work like us, but people headed to different destinations, maybe going home after the holidays. If anything does pop up on the roadways that'll affect your commute, we'll keep you posted. Good morning and welcome back. A big update to a story we've been following through the morning. We're learning more about this deadly fire we've been telling you about since early today. Now, it happened this morning just before 4 a.m. This is a trailer home on a Trout Lane that is on the far southeast side of town. We have learned one person has died in the blaze. Investigators still working to figure out how this all started. We're still trying to learn the identity of the individual who died in the fire. We do expect to have more information throughout the morning, so stay with us on air and online as that info becomes available. Now back to our top story through the morning. Savannah Soto, the missing pregnant woman who was the subject of a clear alert. She's believed to have been found dead inside a car parked near an apartment complex on the city's northwest side. So this is where police found the bodies of 2 people. This is at Danny K Drive. It's near Babcock Road. Investigators believe that the 2 bodies found are 18-year-old Savannah Soto, who was last seen Friday, and her boyfriend, who the family says is Matthew Guerra. John Paul Barajas was at the scene when investigators found the bodies, and he spoke with the woman's family.
San Antonio police officers swarmed this apartment complex on the 5900 block of Danny K. Drive, believing they found the bodies of a soon-to-be mom, 18-year-old Savannah Soto, and her boyfriend, who family says is Matthew Guerra.
We were supposed to celebrate Christmas with her and the baby. All she wanted was that baby. I think she was meant to be a mom.
Soto's sister-in-law, Joanny Wasil, says when Soto missed her appointment to be induced Saturday, they knew something was wrong. Authorities issued a missing persons alert Monday. Wasil explains a tip through Facebook led them to this great Kia.
Horrible. So confusing, so difficult.
That confusion and emotions boiled over at times as families of both Soto and Guerra waited for word from authorities. When Police Chief William McManus did speak, not much clarity was given.
It was a very, very perplexing crime scene. And detectives right now are looking at this as a possible murder, but we don't know for sure.
He adds they think the bodies are Soto's and her boyfriend's, but that he wouldn't confirm that until the medical examiner did, although families on both sides were notified.
But they were shot. I'm not sure where. I did see blood in the car when they opened it.
The chief also didn't mention a suspect, any type of murder-suicide situation, or if there was a weapon in the car. Still tells us now all her family wants is answers while they try to move forward.
Grieve to organize the funeral of two, Vanna and the baby.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Just a tragic story, and it's a story that continues to bring new developments. Savannah Soto, she's actually the second child that her mother, Gloria Cordova, lost in the past year and a half. Savannah's younger brother was killed last year. KSAT has learned Savannah's family was behind a courtroom brawl that involved his suspected killer. Captured on this video from this past October. Now, this is video that was shared with KSAT, and in the video, you can see members of Savannah's family beating the suspect accused of killing Ethan. Now, this unfolded right in the middle of a Bexar County courtroom. Now, Ethan Soto was just 15 when police say he was shot and killed in May of last year. This is video from that scene. It all happened on Alston Street near Callahan Road. Police tell us he was shot after an argument that led to gunfire. We're going to continue to update this story on air and online at KSAT.com. But for now, we're going to take a live look out at the Alamo City. 49 degrees. Look, I'm not happy when it's under 50 degrees, but it is gorgeous out there. Mia Montgomery, are we going to see it heat up through the day?
It's going to be a little bit warmer out there this afternoon compared to what we saw yesterday, but still very comfortable and very pleasant with all of that sunshine. Mid-60s is what we're looking at here in San Antonio in terms of those daytime highs. I want to show you the pollen count for today. Mountain cedar, as we were talking about a little bit earlier in the newscast, is high. It's higher than what it was yesterday because we've seen these winds now shift in from the north. And honestly, I think that will be a trend that continues over the next couple of days. So that's high at 8,500. Not great for those with allergies. Molds are present, but at least those are low. So we'll continue to keep eyes on that. Temperatures, as Max was saying, warming up. Still cold, though, up into the hill country. Kerrville has yet to reach that 40-degree mark. Mid to upper 40s here in San Antonio. A little bit warmer the farther south that you go. 51 in Pleasanton, stretching over to the Kennedy area over there in Karnes County. There's all of that sunshine that's going to continue into this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-60s in the Alamo City, a little bit cooler the farther north that you go, a little bit warmer the farther south, and then cooling off efficiently yet again later on this evening. The trend of cold mornings and comfortable afternoons with plenty of sun is going to continue through the rest of the week, but then we see a cool front move in just in time for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So we're going to talk about that, get you a sneak peek at that New Year's Eve forecast, plus a look at lows this morning across the area a little bit later on, Max.
Thank you, Mia. Let's take a quick live look out at the roadways. Let's see, it is smooth sailing there. That is 1604 and Marbach on your screen right now. Look, people have been frankly blessed by clear roadways really through this travel season. If anything does pop up, we'll keep you posted. All right, what is supposed to be the season of giving, some have been caught on camera stealing. Bexar County Sheriff's Department expects thefts and break-ins to rise through the new year. As our Avery Everett shows us, one San Antonio family now without their decorations as BCSO hopes a new prevention program we first told you about earlier in the show. Hopefully this program can bring change.
I'm just trying to make my house festive for the holidays, for my child, and for the children in the community.
A San Antonio neighborhood this season isn't complete without a couple of lights and some celebration. But to Brenna Vega,
this is all that I have left.
The season of giving came with stolen goods.
I haven't had any problems when it came to that.
Until
it was only my Christmas decorations.
Caught on camera, a man walks up to her door, grabs her wreath, and then runs away.
You know, it's so unfortunate that we can't even have something as simple as a wreath on our door without somebody coming and stealing it.
The police report states that the decorations stolen totaled up to a couple $100.
It makes me so angry.
But officials say this is far from the only instance.
In neighborhoods like this one for Vega and all across Bexar County, these break-ins and thefts are becoming more and more frequent. That's why the Bexar County Sheriff's Office says they want to take a more proactive stance instead of just being reactive.
That's our job, is to make sure that we suppress crime every opportunity that we get.
BCSO is pushing its Patrol By program. You can call the non-emergency number and request a deputy to check on your home while you're away.
We're going to be patrolling your neighborhoods anyway. We may as well take an extra look at your house if you know that you're going to be out of town.
Sheriff Salazar says operators will ask you to describe your home, taking notes for any expected deliveries and what cars should be in your driveway. Salazar says there's no way to measure the number of break-ins and burglaries prevented, but he's hoping this program makes a difference.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
A day after Christmas, Vega's door is empty, but these marks still show what happened.
It's violating, and it wasn't even that late at night.
Now she's taking down the rest of her decorations.
I want to take everything off of my front porch.
Hoping this man is caught before the holidays are over and before anyone else becomes a target. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Avery. And of course, go Spurs, go. Silver and black back in action last night at the Frostbank Center, taking on hosting the Utah Jazz in a battle of two teams with terrible records. First up, Victor Wembanyama back in the lineup for the Silver and Black. First quarter, Jeremy Soham. Oh, look at that beautiful bounce pass. Julian Champagny slam dunk. 5-0 Spurs a bit later. Devin Vassell plays alley-oop with Wemby. All right, pass wasn't perfect, but Wemby 7-4, still scored. 15-7 Spurs. San Antonio would lead 32-27 after one, but the Jazz up at half, 64-60, fighting back from down 15. So let's go to the second half. Third quarter, trailing by as many as 12, the Spurs claws back. Here we go. Zach Collins, dribble, beautiful bounce pass. Keldon Johnson, big slam. Look at that, momentum builder is what we call. Spurs down 4. They'd get as close as 1 after this Trey Jones bucket and foul. It's good as they would get it. And Utah really pulled away after that. Jordan Clarkson from Wagner High School, throwing down 2 of his 22 off the bench, and the Jazz would go on to beat the Spurs 130-118. Pop says changes could be on their way.
They come after you for all 48. We still haven't figured that out yet. Part of it is youth. Part of it is probably I need to demand from certain people. It's time they have to be more consistent or I make changes.
Ooh, ominous. So looking ahead, the Spurs will head west to play at the Trailblazers tomorrow night at 9. They're going to be doing kind of almost a back-to-back. They're then playing the Blazers again Friday night, also at 9. All right, it really is a year of firsts. G.J. Kinney and his Texas State Bobcats capped off their great season with a win at the Serve Pro First Responders Bowl up in Dallas. Remember, this is a first bowl game for him and first winning bowl game. Scoreless first quarter until this handoff. Jameel Jeter from Brandon High School, and he breaks off 29-yard touchdown run. It is 7-0 Texas State, one of 3 touchdowns for Jeter. Once down, 21-7. The Owls tie it up in the second quarter thanks to Dean Connors. This 28-yard touchdown run makes it 21-all, but Texas State, they would lead at 24-21 at halftime. Second half was all Bobcats. Third and goal from the 3. TJ Finley running, wait for it. What's he going to do? Beautiful. Passes it back to offensive lineman Nash Jones. This 6'5", 320-pounder cruising in untouched. Let the big man rumble. 3-yard touchdown score. Cats would lead 31-21. Ensuing drive, quarterback A.J. Padgett throwing it right to the Bobcats linebacker Brian Holloway, and the senior working his magic. Will, look at that blocking downfield. That's what you pray for. He strolls right in. Second pick 6 of the game. The Bobcats in control, 38-21. One of the 3 picks for Padgett. Time for the ice-cold victory bath. Texas State winning the First Responder Bowl 45. Oh, look at that. 21. Finishing the season 8-5. And of course, we're getting closer and closer to the 2023 Valero Alamo Bowl between number 12 Oklahoma and number 14 Arizona. It is the Sooners taking on the Wildcats. This year's game, the highest ranked matchup outside of college football playoffs and the New Year's Six Bowls. It's the 7th time in the last 10 years a Valero Alamo Bowl had featured 2 top 20 teams. Both sides met with the media Tuesday at the Alamo Dome. They say they're ready to go, and hopefully they're going to be ending the season on a high note.
It's been awesome. Appreciate you guys for taking the time. Our players are really enjoying the week. We're looking forward for this matchup. Obviously, our players are looking forward to it. Spent 13 straight practices. I think they're ready to play. So we're excited to be here.
Why not try to chase every dream and every goal and give it our very best? So that's what we're doing. That's what we're here. This is what's in front of us. Attacking this week head on. And this is a championship. We got to win.
There you go. Both sides trying to win. Oklahoma and Arizona facing off Thursday night, 8:15 in the Valero Alamo Bowl at the beloved Alamo Dome. Time now, just about 9:43, 50 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9 a.m. After the break, we know a lot of you out there may be flying for the holidays. Maybe you've already flown. We're talking about some flight secrets that you need to know about. Good morning. Welcome back. All right, let's take a look. What do we got here? All right, first and foremost, it is a great day to go to the zoo. I cannot see what is on the bottom left of our screen. They look like vultures, maybe turkeys. I'm not an animal guy. I can
Not
see.
sure. The flamingos, though.
Flamingos top right.
I feel like that's what.
That's what draws people to the zoo. Really, though, I mean, people complain around the country. I know a lot of friends in the Midwest. It's miserable over there.
Yeah.
20s, 30s.
And some snow.
Blizzard. Yeah, we don't like that.
No, thank you.
I don't like that. I love it here in San Antonio for so many reasons. One of them, it's 50 to mid 60s, sunny, and the end of December, beautiful.
I was going to say, I feel like, some people are disappointed that we don't see a white Christmas. And, sure, some fluffy snow, great.
Sure.
But, we don't have to deal with the travel impacts.
Right.
We don't have to deal with the ice on the roadways. We really, besides the round of storms that we had move in early Christmas Eve, once that cleared out by midday, we hit the jackpot with weather. So that was great.
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling, another study for you.
Well, I gotta say, people don't see the behind-the-scenes work that gets put in. The arduous hours and prep that Mia Montgomery has done for the story.
I don't know about that, but we just,
Yes.
Just
we
to be
have
prepared.
insider info. We know a lot of you are gonna be traveling, or you already traveled,
Yeah.
or you have big trips planned for the spring. We have some secrets to surviving these long flights. All right, lead us off.
Tips and tricks. So this is from a flight attendant who has over 20 years of experience.
14-hour plus stretches in the skies.
Yes. So the first question, should you eat before or during an overnight flight? Well, if you're catching a night flight specifically, this flight attendant says that, yes, you should eat before boarding. So I guess you can maximize your sleep or something like that.
Most of the time you will get food there as well.
Yeah, especially on those long haul overnight flights. Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, so what is the longest flight you've been on?
Oh, for me, well, I went on a study abroad to Germany when I was in college. We went and studied mountain meteorology, and it was the coolest thing. Like, seriously, my favorite trip I think that we've ever taken. And we flew out of Houston. I'm trying to think how long that flight was, because we flew into Munich. And I think it was like 8 hours or something like that. It was a stretch, but thankfully they had movies and they did have food.
Did they have pillows, blankets, and eye masks?
They sure did. They had little blankets and stuff, so that was nice. At least when we were all cramped in the back, we could sleep a little bit.
I have a lot of questions about mountain meteorology, but
cool.
I've mentioned the sleep masks, the pillows, and the blankets because one of the tips and tricks, if you do have a trip, you should probably bring your own. They do provide them. But do you wear a sleep mask to go to sleep?
I don't regularly. If, however, I'm filling in on GMSA and I have to go to bed like super, super early, especially in the summertime whenever the sun sets later, I will, just to really try and fall asleep.
Okay, so you have your own.
I do.
Okay,
so I guess you got to bring it.
You got to bring it and your own pillow. Look, I appreciate the small pillows that they give you when they do give you one.
Yes.
They're insufficient.
You think so?
I think so. I know so. The blankets aren't great.
I think that's a fair take.
Yeah. Also, like, how do you? I appreciate the tips and tricks that this man has provided us. However, it's very difficult to bring your own blanket.
Yeah,
it's just
it
like a
is.
lot
It's
to
and it's
schlep
just one
around.
extra thing that you
Yeah.
have to pack in your bag. What about earplugs? Like, you know, like would you wear earplugs on
I
an
wear
airplane?
headphones.
Yeah,
I wear earphones.
is
I
good.
wear. I'm gonna be honest. I wear my AirPods like way
Everywhere.
too much. I don't know what the long-term effects of that are gonna be.
I guess we'll find out in 20 years.
But I do wear them everywhere. They block out the baby sounds.
Yes, that's true.
Been numerous flights where I have a crying baby either in front of me or behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, all right, this is a controversial take for a lot of you out there. Do you put the seat back?
I will slightly
Okay.
if it is a long haul flight.
Okay.
But if it's like a quick little hop, skip, and a jump somewhere, I won't because I just don't want to be that person.
Dude, don't be that person.
You know?
Yeah.
That is a very controversial thing. Okay, how about this? I'm actually going to skip ahead.
Okay.
Taking your shoes off on
Okay.
an airplane.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I'm taking them off.
You are?
I'm taking them off. Wow. I'm going to be honest, people out there, they're probably like, are you taking them off during the show? I would. However,
my
you see my feet
goodness.
from time to time. You don't need to see these socks.
Our producer's like, go to weather, go to weather.
Yeah.
So you are one of those people.
Yeah, okay. So here's the last tip for you. If you do have a long flight, brushing your teeth before you get off the flight can help energize you, get you ready.
Feel a little bit more refreshed, I guess.
So I incorporate this on my trips. I bring an extra toothbrush
you?
and mini toothpaste, and like right as we're getting off, because
Yeah.
you do feel better, you
That
feel
makes
cleaner, ready to start the day.
Yeah, I've also seen, girls can bring their makeup, like, do a couple of touch-ups, brush your teeth, fix your hair. Yeah, things like that. So anyways, great tips, Max.
I mean, this is a team effort.
This was definitely a team effort. All right, looking outside. Okay, this was earlier, really last night. If you looked outside and you saw a beautiful, bright moon, this was December's full cold moon, the last full moon of 2023. Absolutely beautiful. We've got a ton of pictures up on KSAT Connect from folks that have sent those in. Thank you so much for sending those in. Of course, we had clear skies overnight, which is why we were able to see the moon. And that also helped temperatures fall very efficiently below freezing and near that 32-degree mark for places up into the hill country, Bulverde, Bernie, Comfort, and Kerrville. We're able to dip down to or just below 32 degrees. First thing this morning, it was cold, but a little bit warmer here in Bexar County, mid to upper 30s for us here in the Alamo City. All right, looking ahead, chilly mornings, comfortable afternoons. That quiet weather pattern continues over the next several days. Sunshine and low humidity. New Year's Eve, slightly warmer, upper 60s, but then we see that next cool front move in. So let's take a look at that setup. Again, right now, mid to upper 40s for the most part in and around the San Antonio area. Plenty of sunshine, very, very comfortable. It is colder the farther north that you go. 28 degrees right now in Omaha, Nebraska. It's 30 in Wichita, 25 across the northern tier, North Dakota, over in Bismarck. That's all behind this area of low pressure that's just been hanging out over the central plains, now over portions of the Midwest, sparking some snow, even some rain, especially as you get closer to the eastern seaboard. This low pressure system is going to continue working eastward over the next couple of days. We see a second one move into the Great Lakes region on New Year's Eve, maybe a stray shower across our far eastern counties on Sunday. We stay dry here in San Antonio. Then we see that next front move through, cooler and drier air, likely getting a little breezy if you are stepping out at midnight Sunday night to ring in the new year. You will want to take the jacket out with you because it will be chilly. Temperatures falling into the 40s and wind chills a little bit cooler than that with the breeze. So of course, we'll continue to keep you posted on that on air, online, and on your KSAT Weather Authority app. Till then, beautiful next couple of days. We'll be right back after this.